Parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting lines. Parallel lines. Here we have two straight lines, AB straight line and CD straight line. We can say that AB straight line is parallel to CD straight line. Or we can write it in another form. We can say AB straight line is parallel to CD straight line. But why these two straight lines are parallel for each other? And what is the meaning of the word parallel? Okay, here we have two straight lines. If we extend these two straight lines from both sides, no matter how long we are going to extend them, we are going to notice that they will never meet and they will never touch, and they will have the same distance apart from each other. And that's why we are going to call them parallel lines. Remember, lines are parallel if they are always the same distance apart from each other. They have the same distance, and no matter how long we are going to extend them, they will never meet and they will never touch each other. And that's why we are going to call them parallel lines. Here we have different forms of parallel lines, and you can notice that they looks like the equal sign. Now, notice this figure. Can we call these two straight lines parallel lines or not? Remember, you are always able to extend the line from both sides. So, if we extend these two straight lines from both sides, we can notice that they will never meet or never touch each other and they have the same distance. So, we can call them parallel lines. Another example here, we have two straight lines, a long one and a short one. Can we call them parallel lines? Remember, you can extend your straight line. Now, notes here, are they parallel lines? Sure, they are parallel lines. When we extend them, no matter how long, they will never meet with each other. So they are parallel lines which have the same distance apart from each other. Now, what about the two straight lines we have? They meet with each other or they touch each other. What are we going to call them? Now we have the intersecting lines, which means if we have two straight lines meet with each other at a point, we are going to call them intersecting lines. Let's make this clear. Here we have two straight lines, AB straight line and CD straight line. We can say that AB straight line intersects with CD straight line, and they intersect at point O. So point O is the intersection point of them. What the meaning of intersection point? The intersection point is the point where the two straight lines meet with each other. So the intersecting lines are two lines cross over with each other having a common point called the intersection point where they met. Here we have our intersection point O. We are going also to notice that when these two lines intersect or meet with each other, they form four angles, two acute angles and two obtuse angles. Remember, intersecting lines where lines cross over with each other, meet each other, and have a common point, which is the intersection point. Okay, now we are going to take some examples on intersecting lines. For the first example we have here, we have two straight lines, a red straight line and a blue one. We can say that these two straight lines are intersecting lines. As they touch each other, they met at a common point, which is the intersection point. Now, what about these two lines? Can we say that these two lines are intersecting lines or not? You may say at first that these two lines are not touching each other and they don't have a point in common. But always remember that you can extend your straight line to see whether they are going to meet or not. By extending the blue straight line, you are going to notice that these two lines are intersecting lines having a point in common, which is the intersection point. Another example here, we have two lines, and we want to know whether these two lines are intersecting lines or not. So, first we have to extend them to see whether they are going to meet at a point, a common point, or not. By extending them, we notice that they have a point in common, an intersection point. They touch each other at a common point, so they are intersecting lines. Perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are two lines or segments intersect with each other at 90-degree angle. Here we have AB straight line and CD straight line. We can say that AB straight line is perpendicular to CD straight line. Or we can write it in another way. AB straight line is perpendicular to CD straight line. The two lines have an intersection point or a common point where they met, and this is called intersection point. Here we have intersection point F. This is the common point where the two lines met with each other. Now, let's make the word perpendicular more clear. What the meaning of the word perpendicular or perpendicular lines? Perpendicular lines mean that the two lines intersect with each other, forming four right angles, each equal to 90 degrees. If the two straight lines intersect with each other, forming four right angles, we can call these two lines perpendicular lines, as they intersect with each other, forming four right angles. Now let's take some examples on perpendicular lines. Here we have MN line segment and AB line segment. We can say that these two lines are perpendicular for each other as they form right angles. So we can say here that MN line segment is perpendicular to AB line segment. Another example here, we have two straight lines. We notice here that line 1 and line 2 are perpendicular for each other because their intersection make four right angles, 90-degree angle. So we can say that line 1 is perpendicular to line 2. One more example. If we have here these two straight lines, you may say that they have no relation or something in common because they far away from each other. But always remember, we can extend our straight line. Now we got perpendicular lines as they form four right angles. They intersect with each other, forming four right angles, and that's why we are going to call them perpendicular lines. Remember, the perpendicular lines are the lines that intersect with each other, forming four right angles.